The internet's great. You can meet new friends, find old ones, talk to your schoolmates, get into long-lasting relationships, short but strong relationships, fun relationships. You can also find photos, post photos, share photos, like photos, and one thing I love doing is to update my status. But beneath that very thin shell of great things about the internet hides one of the most deadly weapons known to the internet users. Most people don't realise how out of hand it can get unless you're a part of it. All that it is to you is a story, but for me, it was reality. This is my story. My life was just as plain as any life can get. I guess that was a good thing. I went to school, went to parties, had friends, and basically just lived my life as it came. It was great. I got into one little fight with my best friend Hannah, and that basically turned my whole life around. She seemed like a nice person at the time. The only problem was, I didn't know her. If I was still friends with Hannah, I would have called her, asked her to check out the girl's profile. She would have known what to do. She would never have made the mistakes that I did. Sophie was now my best friend. She was the nicest person I had ever met. We would talk for hours on end. Sometimes I'd even stay up till midnight to talk with her. She would always comment lovely things on my pictures and never told me that I was wrong or that the argument Hannah and I got into was a big deal. She made me feel safe. All my insecurities left when I spoke to her. I didn't even feel bad when I saw Hannah playing with other friends. Everything seemed perfectly fine. Things just suddenly got out of hand. Now Sophie liked every single one of my pictures. She also commented and shared a lot of them. Every time I updated my status, Sophie would always be the first one to comment on it, and she would always pop up every time I did. It started to creep me out a little. Every time I went online, it seemed like she was waiting for me. She would always ask if I wanted to meet up with her, and it was as if she wanted to know every single detail about me and Hannah. It seemed like she didn't want me and Hannah to be friends ever again. I didn't like the way she spoke about Hannah, and I didn't want to meet up with her. Not yet. I was scared. One day, Sophie asked me if I wanted to meet up. I said no. I really didn't. I didn't even know her anymore. She seemed like a completely different person from the first Sophie I met. Ever since I said no, I felt almost as if I was being watched. As if there was a strange presence when I went out. Every time I went online, Sophie would still be there, but in a strange way it wasn't her. She seemed to know me more, know what I've been up to, and she never asked about Hannah anymore. One Friday, Hannah and I made up. I was so happy, but I was scared to tell her about Sophie. She wouldn't understand. She would have told me how stupid I was to even talk to her. I really wanted to, but I just couldn't. I decided not to tell Sophie about me and Hannah. She would hate me. So it was my little secret. But when I went online, Sophie had left me loads of messages. Not really nice messages, but hate messages. She was threatening me. She said that I should die. I didn't understand. I hadn't told her anything. I decided to block her, but no matter how many times I did, she would always seem to find a way back into my life. I would hear from her about 5 times a day at least. I couldn't take it anymore. Sophie was there and never seemed to go away. I started hurting myself, but after a while it felt like she was the one putting the knife in my hand. I had lost the will to live. I had written many suicide letters, but had always been too scared. Stop! But I didn't do this. You have the choice. Make the right one.